jealousy turned to rage, and rage spilled innocent blood. But God, in his mercy, did not leave them without hope. Genesis 4:25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and called his name Seth. For she said, God has appointed for me another offspring instead of Abel, for Cain killed him. Eve was 130 years of age when she conceived Seth, Eve holding him with both grief and joy in her eyes. Seth was not just another child. He was appointed, chosen to carry on the righteous line that Abel began. Through him, the promise of God's plan would move forward. Genesis 4:26. To Seth, also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. At that time, people began to call upon the name of the Lord. Do you see it? Through Seth's line, true worship was restored, while Cain's descendants built cities and boasted of their own strength. Seth's line called them, and from this line would come Noah, Abraham, David, and one day, Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world. Luke 3:38 reminds us, the son of Enosh, the son of Seth, the son of Adam, the son of God, a glowing family tree stretching forward in time, connecting to the cross. The lesson is clear. Even when sin seems to win, even when death takes away, God provides a way forward. Abel's blood cried from the ground for justice, but through Seth, God pointed to one whose blood would one day cry out not for vengeance, but for mercy. Hebrews 12:24. Seth's birth was God's reminder that his promises never die. No matter the failures of man, God's plan of redemption marches on. The significance of Seth is much deeper than just being another son. He carries one of the most important threads in the whole Bible story. Let me break it down clearly for you. The significance of Seth. 1. Seth was God's appointed replacement for Abel. Genesis 4:25 says Eve named him Seth because God has appointed for me another offspring instead of Abel, for Cain killed him. The word Seth comes from the Hebrew root meaning appointed or granted. He was a divine appointment, God's way of continuing his plan through a righteous line. Seth means appointed. 2. Through Seth, true worship was restored. Genesis 4:26 says, at that time people began to call upon the name of the Lord. While Cain's descendants built cities and celebrated violence, Seth's descendants turned their hearts toward God. This made Seth the father of a spiritual lineage, a team of people who sought the Lord. Seth became the ancestor of Noah. In Genesis 5, the genealogy is laid out clearly. Genesis 5:3. When Adam had lived 130 when Seth was born. Without Seth, there would be no Noah, and without Noah, humanity would not have survived the flood. Seth literally carried forward the possibility of redemption for mankind. 4. Seth connects directly to Jesus in Luke 3:38. The genealogy of Jesus goes all the way back through Seth, calling him the son of Adam, the son of God. This means Seth is a direct link in the chain that leads to Christ, showing how God preserved the line of promise despite sin, death, and rebellion. 5. Seth represents God's faithfulness in the face of human failure. Adam and Eve lost Abel, their righteous son. Cain fell to sin, but through Seth and his son Enosh, God proved that even when man's story seems broken, his story continues. Seth is a symbol of God's mercy and his unstoppable plan of salvation. In short, Seth wasn't just a replacement child, he was a sign of hope, a reminder that God's promises never die. His line leads us all the way to Jesus, whose blood speaks better word than the blood of Abel. Hebrews 12:24. Thank you for watching Bible Flow Media. Please like and subscribe and continue this journey with us. Seth lived 730 years.